forget where you're coming from. King Shango set the trend. Yo, I want them. Mama telling you this. Hey, Jack. On a better have some respect and manners. See the Asian them and give them honors. Respect and manners. Yes, nothing wrong with that. They always say, too little simple thing can carry you through the world. Respect and manners, that's all I'm asking from you. Respect and manners, then love will come to you. Respect and manners, that's all I'm asking from you. Respect and manners, and I know.
Hey everyone, how are you guys doing? Welcome back to the channel. Guys, I know it's been a while, right? It's been a while since I've been on here. Since I've picked up the camera and, you know, yeah, shared some stuff with you guys, right? Some of you know, Outlaw did say in a couple of previous videos that I was abroad, I was traveling. Yes, I was abroad, and I'm gonna sit down with you guys a little bit later and get into it, right? Why I traveled and all of that. Now, I was meant to be abroad for about 3 months. That was the plan. Yeah, to travel back to the UK for 3 months and be back in time for maybe around July time, right? Because that's our very busy season. Guys, I lasted 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I was meant to be gone for 3 months. I lasted 2 weeks and I'm back in Jamaica. I've only been back a few days now, about 3 days or so. Yes. So I'm getting ready to go on the road now. I need to go to the bank. I need to run a few errands really quickly. So I'm going to drive into Ochi and, when I get back, I'm gonna sit down with you guys and explain why my trip to the UK was cut short from 3 months to 2 weeks, all right? And why I was planning to stay for such a long time in the first place. But one thing I will say, guys, Outlaw is so pleased that I am back. He was like, yep, glad that I am back. So yeah, that's what's up. I'm gonna fill you in when I get back, but I'm gonna take you on the road with me for a little bit while I run some errands, and then yeah, we'll get into it. Yeah, all right guys, see you in a few. Alright guys, so at this point I realised that my gas light had come on. I was stuck in traffic, so I was a bit worried if I was going to make it to the gas station in time. So the first stop had to be the gas station. So as you can see, there is traffic. It is moving very slowly, but there was a lot of traffic going ahead. But not only that, guys, I see why a lot of people are scared to drive in Jamaica. Let me show you why. One of the many reasons people don't like to drive in Jamaica is because of this overtaking, right? And overtaking on the, you know, they go over to the wrong side of the road and overtake. There's another one, typically taxi drivers. Yeah, and another one, guys. Here's another one. But guys, my advice would be to you is just to take your time on the road. Don't be intimidated by people trying to rush you or speed. Just take your time on the road and do your thing. Okay, so yes people, I did say that I'd give you a bit of an update about where I've been and why I only spent 2 weeks in the UK when I was supposed to be spending 3 months. So the whole plan was for me to go to the UK and spend 3 months. Guys, I had this idea, I had this plan that I wanted to go to the UK, spend 3 months working. So I was going to hustle, right? I was going to England to go and work for 3 months, you know, make them coins and come back to Jamaica. And it was for a very specific reason. It wasn't just going to work just to work, you know, it was for a very specific reason. So we have plans, Outlaw and I have plans to make quite a big purchase, quite a significant purchase to expand our business, grow our business, and kind of to take us in a new direction, right? So a new area of business. And it requires quite a big purchase that we have been working towards and saving towards. And so we kind of have a timeline when we want to achieve this. And I thought, okay, do you know what might be good is if I go to the UK, you know, do a temporary job, get a temporary job, do some temp work for 3 months to add to that. Now, by me going to the UK, I don't really have, well, I have very little overheads out there, you know, in the UK. So if I did work, it means that I could just save the majority of my salary or the majority of my wages and bring back, right? So that was the plan, right? I've got very little overheads abroad. If I worked, I could save the majority of it, and over the course of a few months, you know, build up something, and bring that back to Jamaica, and then that could help with the purchase and also help with the timeline that we're trying to work within. So that was my plan. So there was me, found my cheap flight and I have done a video on how you can travel indirectly for cheap. I found a cheap flight and I booked. Now I tend to book these things very I would say randomly, but very short notice. So I think I booked it maybe 4 days before I went. Yeah. Something I've been thinking about. Outlaw and I discussed it, and then so this is what I do. I have an idea that I want to go, or I had an idea that I wanted to go and do this, and I basically booked my flight in line with a very cheap ticket that I'd seen, right? So that's what I did. The whole plan was that I'd go and come back at the beginning of the summer, because our summer is completely booked out. Like, we have no availability in the summer. We're completely booked out for tours in the summer. So I wanted to come back before that rush started. So I booked my flight about 4 days before I was due to go, like I said. Went to England, and as soon as I got there, just started looking at jobs, and temporary jobs, really, 3-month temporary jobs. I did get something. So within a week of being there, I secured a position, which is quite a flexible position, which was good, and it kind of works within what I was looking for and my availability, which was really good. So I got a job within a week of being there. It was due to start, and like I was due to start on the Thursday. Yes, I was due to start on a Thursday. Yeah. But what happened is, so let me bring the story a little bit back a little bit more. Why I didn't actually start the work, guys. I didn't actually start the job, and why I had to come back. So I had been feeling a little bit of pain and discomfort in my foot a couple of days before I left Jamaica, right? On the plane, my foot was throbbing, like my foot was paining, it was hurting me so badly. I kind of just ignored it because I just thought, oh, it's not anything too serious. When I got to England, the pain eventually got worse, as the days went on. By the time, a few days before I was due to start work, my first day, I was like, I couldn't really walk properly. Couldn't really walk properly, apply pressure. When I put shoes on, it hurt. I ended up putting like a band-aid, like a plaster on my toe because of the pain, and so a couple of days before I was due to start work, I thought, you know what, this is ridiculous. I need to go to the doctors, right? So I ended up registering with a doctor. I had to register with a new surgery, register with the doctor. They basically said to me, listen, you cannot even get an appointment until a week's time. Yeah, or you can't even call for an appointment until a week's time. So I took myself to a walk-in clinic. Yeah. Got seen really quickly. With about 20 minutes, I was seen by somebody. They assessed my foot. My toe actually was infected, which I suspected it was. And the advice was basically, you need to take antibiotics for a week, and you need to leave your feet open. Leave it open as much as you can, right? And be careful not to bang it. Now, in England, at this time of year, it's not summer, it's quite cold. My foot was wrapped up in socks and boots and tights and all kind of things, right? And so it needed to be open, to be aired out, to dry, and to not to be kept like wrapped up. And there was no way I was going to be able to be standing on it, right? And start work. So with that being said, I spoke to Outlaw, told him what the doctor said. And then at that point I had a decision to make. Outlaw was like, look, come home, come in your yard, come home, basically, right? Come home, because, if you've got to leave your foot out, it's best for you to do that out here, because obviously when I'm out here, my feet are out all the time. You wear slippers, sandals, your feet are out. And the other thing was as well, I had to think about, do I stay in the UK, wait for my foot to heal, which could take, a couple of months. And by the time I do that, then I'd have very little time to work. And I'm already on a tight schedule, because I know I've got to be back before the summer for work in Jamaica, right? So I kind of felt like me sitting at home in the UK, doing nothing, waiting for my foot to heal wasn't a good use of my time. Outlaw said, come home, we can figure something out here. And I think I can get more things, I can be more productive out here, rather than in the UK not working. Me sitting at home in the UK doing nothing is not productive to me. That, you know, what can I really do? Out here I can do more while my foot is, you know, is healing. I can still do things. I can still vlog. I can still follow up on other business leads, etc. And so guys, that's basically what I did. So 2 days before I actually traveled back to Jamaica, I booked my ticket. I got a really cheap deal. I paid £175 for my ticket to come back. With everything, I paid £220 for everything. Yeah, and I flew from Brussels. I flew from Belgium, so that was everything, right? To get to Brussels, to fly from Brussels to Jamaica, and my luggage. I paid £220. And I've been back maybe 3 days or so, 3 or 4 days I've been back. My foot is still a little sore, but it's a lot better than what it was in England, because, you know, it's got time to air out, it's got time to dry up, and I'm still taking antibiotics, but it's getting better. It's getting better. So I'm just taking my time with it. That's really it, guys. So there's no like fancy story about why I had to cut my time in England short. But that was it. That was my plan, to work, hustle up some money to support our purchase that we want to make. It didn't quite work out, but, you know, I'm back home, and now we just figure out a plan B, right? And we make it work, as Outlaw says. Together, we put our heads together and we'll make it work. And Outlaw always says, you know, he feels like we're better together than we are apart, in terms of being able to put, you know, 2 heads together and come up with ways to do what we need to do, right? Yeah, but I'm glad I'm back. Guys, let me tell you something. This is something that I've learned, and I knew this anyway, but I think going back to England on this trip really confirms it even more. England is UK, should I say? It's hard. Like, it is hard out there. How are you guys coping? Like, how are you guys really coping out there? Like, I go to the supermarket, I see the cost of things are just so high. And what I realize they're doing now is a lot of the supermarkets are like trying to do special offers, because people are just not being able to buy. Yeah, people can't afford certain things. Simple things like certain cereals, like Weetabix was like £4.50. Like, when did that happen? Simple things are just so expensive out there. Of course, we know that like gas and electric is super expensive, and is going up. But the cost of living in England, my gosh, I mean, you know, I think I spoke to somebody on the phone yesterday, and they said to me, you know, like, they're like the poorest they've ever been. And I think that's the feeling of a lot of people. A lot of people now are feeling it more than they've ever felt before, you know? Even in a steady job, people are feeling the pinch. England is hard. And I think also that as well, I mean, even though I wouldn't have to spend most of my wages, because like I said, I've got very little overheads in the UK right now, it did make me think, you know, if I had to go back to the UK to live, how would I cope? Like, how would I cope? I think I would really struggle. I think I would struggle. Yeah, I think I would struggle, because the salaries out there are poor. The salaries are poor. There's a very thin line between what people earn as minimum wage, so those minimum wage jobs, and some of those professional jobs. The salaries, or especially the salaries and the hourly rate, there is not much difference in minimum wage jobs and those jobs that require you to have experience in this and this, you know, experience roles, so to speak. There isn't much difference in the salaries, and I wonder why there's a surge in unemployment, because the jobs, I mean, at the jobs, to me, they seem like they're longer hours, shorter breaks. Like, you could be doing like a 40-hour week with half an hour lunch break. You know, by the time you take tax and everything out of it, what you're left with is really not a lot in the climate of, you know, the cost of living and everything like that. So, guys, I know the UK is hard, and I know this is probably everywhere. I know it's probably the same in Canada, USA, all over the world. But I can only speak on England, of course, in Jamaica, because that's where I am. Yeah, England's hard, man. England is hard. It's hard out there. Yeah, and I just think it made me really think about that. And being in Jamaica, I think, like I said before, it just gives me more opportunities to be more entrepreneurial, and to hustle, are self-employed, and to, more opportunities to just do different things. And so, yeah, coming back, I've kind of come back with different perspective in a way. Yeah, so that's it. That's really it, guys. That's why I'm back in Jamaica after 2 weeks. I'm really glad I'm back. Jamaica is hot. Jamaica is hot. But I did come home to a really nice surprise. Let me show you guys. So, look at this. Oh, sorry, guys. I'm just going to open the door. Guys, what can you see? Can you see these? Look. This year, the mango tree is loaded. Can you see that? And there, around the side there as well, there are loads of mangoes. I should really go and show you guys. But look, guys. Yeah. This was a nice surprise to come home to. Just waiting for them to get fit, to get ready. And then I'm going to be demolishing some of these. Honestly. Yeah, it's mango time. But yes, guys, yeah, that's just a quick update. And yes, you'll be seeing Outlaw and I together very soon. And I'll see you guys in the next vlog.